don't know what algorithm TikTok throws me in, but
it's just like figuring me out right now. It's like, hey, I'm sending you a couple videos here and there, just to see what the fuck you're into. Also, I don't know if it's like a process where it's like, oh, if you like it, then we'll keep it coming, or if it's like, if I stay there long enough, will you keep it coming?
I think if you watch it, it'll keep it coming.
Yeah. If I never like it, I just watch it. They're still like, we're gonna come back.
Well, because they track people's views too. That's why on some videos you'll be like, oh, 1 million views, 500,000 likes. But yeah, I think they take that into consideration.
500,000 likes is like, sounds healthy.
Okay, because I've had to delete TikTok and re-put it on my phone a couple times, and every time they start with like a really conservative algorithm. They're like, do you like Andrew Tate? Do you like Christian TikTokers? Do you like people like very like anti-transy type stuff? Like it always starts conservative for me.
I don't want to break it to you, Chris, but it's about who's in your phone book.
My demo?
Yeah, it's your demo. Because if you allow TikTok in the beginning to say, hey, they'll ask you, do you want to like look at your contacts or be able to find your friends? You say, yeah. Then boom, from there, they start to believe they know something about your algorithm already. So they start sending you stuff that they believe your friends or people that you at least know are liking or they're at least watching.
I just feel like the people that I know that are on TikTok are not like conservative people.
What if it's the people that I disagree with you. I'm going to jump in for you, even though I might be wrong. I think that maybe the people you follow back on TikTok that are your friends are not conservative, but your phone book, it goes to your phone book as well.
I will be honest, it did sync with my phone book.
That's what I'm saying. It goes to your phone book as well. So if it's like anybody that you know, even if you grew up with them and you're like, I don't feel that way, if they're in your phone book, they're going to still pitch you that stuff. They're like,
it was like, do you know these 200 people that are in your phone book? And I was like, man, I have not redone my phone book since college.
It sent me so many where I was like, I'm not doing this with you. Like, I'm going to keep this about people I just want to see.
I didn't realize how many people in my phone book I just straight up had no idea who they were.
Oh, that is always fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. through like a TikTok, through like a WhatsApp or something, when you like put somebody's number in or something, and then you see their picture and you have no idea who they are. You're like, who the fuck is this? And then you start to think like, oh, I think I met this person back. I love to I love to like recant a story of like, oh, this is how it went. Recount this. This is how it went. 8 years ago when I was in Dubai, I met this person. And I haven't talked to them since. And it is so when I re-upload my contact book, I do like to see like, oh, all these people I forgot about are here. This is interesting.
I found out that somebody from my high school is actually like a National Geographic photographer and has like 3 million followers and is like a famous photographer. And I just had no idea.
How do you feel when you like people from your high school, you too, Alana, how do you feel when people from your high school or your former life kind of blow up a little bit and you didn't like know or you didn't keep up with them? And then you see them blowing up a little bit. Do you feel a little bit like, man, I don't want to like hit them up and let them know congratulations because that feels like groupie shit? Or do you like see people from afar who you grew up with and you like, you know what? Even if we don't have any business together, I need to let you know that I'm proud of you.
I think I think a better version of me would hit them up, but I'm just proud of them from afar. So I have positive feelings about them.
Okay.
But I just realized somebody else from my high school is a Michelin star chef now.
Ooh.
And I didn't randomly go,
what
hey,
high school did you go
remember
to?
Me? I know, man. I got some, I just realized it's a public high school in the middle of California. But we got some.
I mean, I feel like so many people from my school, a lot of those from my school, like are doing really well.
And you're from a school where people do
really well.
Yeah,
yeah. But like a whole bunch of people like are doing really well, and part of me be like, man, I want the homies to know that like I'm proud of them, without them like thinking there's anything
I bet they
else
would like that because you're probably one of the. You've been on TV for 10 years. You're from your school.
This is a great way to start this show, I guess. I was talking to my mom this week, and I was like, yo, I was talking about one of the, shout out to Jonathan McReynolds, who went to my high school, who's a huge gospel artist. Shout out to him. All his success, been killing it. But, I told my mom, I was like, yeah, Jonathan, I know Jonathan from high school, obviously, we kind of grew up together. I didn't know him. We didn't speak every day in high school. We weren't best friends in high school by any means. But part of me doesn't like to necessarily talk to anybody from high school because I was a dick. And I was like really funny, but a funny dick. where it was like, oh,
Where like you feel like you'd have to be like, hey, what's up? I'm sorry.
no. Well, okay, feel like that? Yes. Is that the case? I don't know. I think that I'm probably just more polished and a better person today. So part of me is so afraid. You know how like, you try to black out trauma or things that happen to you in your life? Part of me has blocked out high school because I'm so afraid I made fun of everybody, right? I never was physically abusive or a bully, but I think I was making fun of everybody. That was my go-to. Like, I'm funny. I'm going to tell jokes. And somebody like a Jonathan, who I am a fan of, and I think is killing it at dope. I was afraid to even hit him and say anything because I felt like, yo, Jonathan, I don't want you to feel like if I was a dick in high school, that was so not me. I was fucking 4'11", 4'1". I was still trying to find myself, and I was like, the only thing I know is humor. So it's just interesting.
What if he was like, you're the reason I sing gospel?
Bruh, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm trying to get some love into your heart.
No, I don't think I was that bad because I don't think I was that bad with anybody. Jonathan didn't have anything wrong per se with him or anything like that. No, nobody did. But like, I didn't bully people for things they couldn't control.
That's good.
I was never that guy. I was never like, hey, you over there, you're doing worse than my family. Look at those shoes. It's like, what? That's not.
That's good.
I'm from the hood. Nigga, like everybody was broke. That's not how I would target people or be like, oh, this thing you can't control. It was just more like, I'm gonna be funny about what you did in school. I'm gonna be funny about the way you're walking. I'm gonna be funny about this thing. And no, he never even said I did anything to him. It's all in my head. It was just more for me that there's a fear.
You don't want to confront your past
I have
self.
so many of people who went to our school because, like you said, our school is known for that. Most of our people who went to our school went to Brown or Harvard or Yale or some fucking crazy prestigious ass school where I'll see them doing different things and I'll be like, man, I don't trust the old me enough to just go in this like, hey, just because I've been on TV 10 years isn't enough. I used to have dreams.
I want to do a whole television show where you see if you have to make amends to anyone.
Man.
And hopefully like almost only celebrities from your high school. And they're all like, yeah, I've been waiting for this for 10 years.
Well, I don't know how many celebrities we have from our high school. I think our high school is more like that person's killing it in their own space. Like you said, Michelin, like one of my boys who went to high school with us just wrote like 9 on Kendrick's last album. Like,
sick.
Yeah, people just like from our school just be doing random shit. And then you hear about it and you be like, oh, word, he worth 100 M's now? That's what's up. That's crazy. I want to tell him congratulations. But like, yeah, I'd be also, like you say, I'd be afraid of like that person being like, oh, look who's here now.
Well.
Wanting to tell me congratulations.
There's probably somebody, though,
after
who
you said
could
you
give
wish
a
my
lot
grandma
of-
died. And I'd be like, what?
Be like, every time I turn on a television at a hotel and I see your face, I remember.
I leave the hotel.
I remember my grandma dying.
And I'm like,
you
I
making
said
fun of
that?
me for it.
Not exactly.
I also like how you were like, I didn't make fun of people for things they couldn't control. Just like their grandma dying and the way they walk.
No. No, the way you walk, you control
I guess you can control the way you walk.
Yeah, you ain't never seen like a girl switching really hard because she wants some attention and you be like, God damn, that's not a good walk. That is just an attention walk. You never seen an attention walk where somebody like
little
doing too
shaking
much
your
and you're like,
hips.
oh, okay, I get it.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would never make fun of anyone for their grandma dying. That was a joke. That was me just bringing up the fact that I'd be afraid. So if you went to my high school, let me just throw it out there. And you know what, Chris, if you have anybody you want to shout out as well, you can do this. And you too, Alana. If anybody went to any of our high schools or any of our schools in the past, and you want to make amends, or if we need to make amends, and we have any problems that we've had in the past,
make amends?
I want you to. I said if they want to make any with me, or if we want to make amends as well, then I want you to reach out to the show. We'd love to have you on for a split second and just let me apologize publicly to you on air.
Email Wine and Weed Podcast with your specific memory of when Sterling or I have wronged you.
Yeah.
Or Alana. I'm going to include Alana, even though she didn't ask to be included in this.
But she's wrong people for sure, right?
And
okay.
Wow, kind of Alana just kind of looked away and sighed.
Thanks, Alana.
No, because I was wronged. I didn't have a great school experience. So
okay, so
I'm okay off this.
If you think that me and Sterling need to make amends with you, or if you think you need to make amends with Alana,
yes,
reach out to the show, wineandweedpodcast@gmail.com, and let us know the situation.
Yeah.
So I come fight you. No, I'm joking.
With that, welcome to Wine and Weed.
Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Sterling Stilo Brim, a.k.a. That Dude, a.k.a. S to the B, Senior Investor Bree, a.k.a. That Third Leg, known as Just Me, a.k.a. Concerned Father, a.k.a. Black Mama, a.k.a. RP Black Mamba, a.k.a. Stevenson, Stylist. My leg, somebody gave me a couple more. They called me L-Leg. They called me a lot of other things. L-Leg, because my leg was pointing in that direction. But if y'all don't know...
Scooter Steve?
Yeah, Scooter Steve, whatever y'all want to call me. But I'm only a month, baby. I'm only a month in this cash. I thought it was going to be longer than that. I'm only a month in this cast and a month in the boot, and we back out in these streets.
That's insane that you had an L-shaped foot and now it's just a month.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
And with me as always.
I'm Chris Reinecker, a.k.a. The Chronosaur, a.k.a. your new baby daddy, a.k.a. Speed Bump, a.k.a. The Elusive Moose, a.k.a. La La La, a.k.a. Saxophone Jones.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you realize which a.k.a. I've been leading with the past few weeks.
But what'd you just do? Speed bump? What?
Your new baby daddy.
New baby daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even did you just start with that right now?
I did. I have been starting with it.
Yeah.
Sterling, because I've told you.
Yeah, you gonna
But I
hit them with it?
figured that before I go public with it, I might announce it to our friends at Wine and Weed family.
Yeah.
That I'm going to be a new baby daddy.
Yeah.
Wine and weed, baby love.
We have a Wine and Weed child coming.
Yeah.
A second Wine and Weed child coming.
Baby Sativa Cabernet.
That baby Sativa Cabernet. We're due in February.
Yeah.
Actually due
the love month.
the day before my birthday.
Oh, really?
On February 3rd. So
Yay.
this motherfucker's going to steal my birthday.
That's not cool.
Was that Aquarius?
Aquarius.
Yeah,
We're having an Aquarius.
So what you gonna do about that? Like, you gonna try to push it back or push it forward? What you gonna do?
I mean,
Maybe you can't just take
I
your
do
birthday.
Probably
like
not push
my
it back
birthday.
or forward.
I'm just telling Chris, don't lose your birthday to this baby.
But all
Let
of a
this baby come
sudden-
in and taking over the house already, Chris.
I know. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But if that's the way it has to be, I'll suddenly be like, and then I got the greatest birthday present.
Oh, that's what you'll do every
Yeah,
year.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, I get weekend 2, you get weekend 1,
To the baby?
do a little baby birthday and then
I
daddy
thought you meant
birthday.
like baby mama drama already. I thought you were planning for it. Like,
No.
I get weekend 2, you get weekend
No, I'm
1. Get the
saying-
fuck out of my house. I was like, dude, you're happy. You're in love. Let's look forward to the positives.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, I'm not going to do a double header with
Yeah,
a kid.
I'm
I'm not
with you.
going to celebrate a kid's birthday and then my birthday. I got to get my own weekend.
That is true. Well,
So-
congratulations.
Thank you.
Fucking congratulations. You're gonna be an amazing father. I'm pretty
Thank
sure
you.
of that.
You
I'm pretty sure of that. Exceptionally. I'm definitely sure of that. You'll be an amazing father. Same to Claudia. You're gonna be an amazing mother. So we're so happy for you guys. So proud of you. And I'm happy to be an uncle as well,
Thank you.
man.
You're going to be an amazing uncle, I'm
I've
sure.
been one before, but I'm here again to do it again.
You've had some practice.
Yeah.
And
It's just
now-
practice. This is the game now.
Now there's the real game.
A while back, before we get into the show, did we let Alana go yet? Did you do AKAs and shit?
Do I need to? Alana, AKA, always has new AKAs. AKA, I'm here.
That was your
reading the
AKAs?
facts.
I like that AKA a little bit. The always has new AKAs.
I didn't come up with that on my own.
Somebody else did.
Somebody left it in the comments, and I was like, I like that. But now I always have to get new AKAs.
I mean, a while back, we fucking talked about this on the show. I forgot to really cover. I don't know if we really need to cover. But we cracked over 100,000 subscribers a long time ago. Yeah, we went over that a little bit. But we got our YouTube plaque in the mail and everything, and it's in the office, and we should bring it out and
my
show
God,
it to you.
bring it out right now.
Yeah, bring it out and show it to them. And we well, I'll let you come back before we do all that, Hey! Woo! 100,000 of them things, and we only going up from here. We appreciate y'all so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do this show for you guys, for ourselves as well a little bit, but definitely for you guys mostly. So for you guys to even allow us to get here, as we started this show, we didn't know where it was going to go. We didn't know if you guys were going to give a shit. But as this community, as this family continues to grow, we're just happy. We're appreciative, first and foremost,
Yes.
very appreciative. So, continue to tell somebody, this is still word of mouth. Go ahead and spread the word. This is the best podcast in the fucking world, and you guys made this happen.
Hell yeah. And if you're a listener but not a subscriber, subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Check it out. And we're on TikTok now, W&W Podcast, because TikTok really doesn't like when you say weed. Either does YouTube. It's amazing that we got to 100,000 subscribers with the word weed in our title.
It is.
Because YouTube hates weed.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
And takes us out of the algorithm every week, but we still come back every week because you guys come, and we love that. Despite the algorithm not supporting us, you guys do, and that's why we keep it going.
Facts.
W&W Podcast on TikTok. Stilo came out with a TikTok last week. I came out with TikTok yesterday.
Chris
so I'd say
TikTok.
that's the biggest news of my life right now. Is that I'm on
about
TikTok.
A baby, we over 100,000. Now you're like, I'm on TikTok.
Like,
way more important than all of that.
If you care about me having a child, follow me on TikTok at Chris Reinecker.
Yeah.
And suggest a baby name.
I'm gonna lean this back for the rest of the episode.
Oh, you want to hear something funny? I went out. This is how becoming a expectant father changes you. I went out this weekend to get a couple drinks with a friend, and I would like meet people. Like I'd meet, outside there were these girls smoking a joint, and we met them and we talked to them. And instead of when I get people's names now, I think of whether it's a good baby name.
Ooh.
So I'm like meeting. Like, this is you when you get older at the bar. It's like you're meeting girls considering, Maddie, nice meeting you. Maddie Reinecker. I wonder if I could name my kid that. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Wait, I actually have a cool article about baby names.
Oh my God,
so
what
we
a
can go
segue.
over
We
that
have
really
one about baby
quick.
names before.
The most regretted baby name. So, okay, so let me just read
Let's
the thing.
do it. Let's get into the news of the week. Oh, also, we're drinking Ferniente, which looks pretty nice. It's a Napa Valley Chardonnay.
I think it's not the worst. We do like a little Chardonnay, and we're smoking a little Dole Whip. Is this Whip or is Hiv Whip? It's Whip. I'll just say Whip. Dole Whip.
Dole Whip.
Dole Whip from Ember Valley. Ember Valley, you ready to get high and drunk and go over news of the week?
Yeah, it's something
get-
we can't say on TikTok.
Let's get into the fucking show. Bye.
So I don't know if this is a whole article, but I do want to go over really quick since we're talking about baby names. So the Social Security Administration and the Washington Post teamed up for a list of the most changed names, and they ran the numbers back to 2017. Apparently, it's hard to spell after you or your partner have just gone through labor. The two most changed names are Isaac and Chol. And the two most adopted names, as you might expect it, are Isaac and Chloe. So it's like people misspelling the names because basically once you have your baby, you go through labor, they come around, they ask you to like write down your baby's name and you have to put it in this little like box thing or whatever, and you don't get to change it. So there's like so many misspellings when it comes to baby names. But the full list are Isaac, Chol, Aiden, Connor with an ER, Elliot, Michael, James, Isabella, Sophia, and David.
Wait, is David spelt wrong, or
David
did
is
someone
spelled
just
right.
go, I don't want to
No,
name
David
my kid
is spelled right, and they just and then most adopted names after those names are changed are Isaac, Chloe, Sebastian, William, Olivia, Michael, which is like
When you say
Sebastian is
names, what do you
popping
mean?
right
like
now.
after they
A new name?
Like so I went back, I'd changed my baby's name, and this is the new name that I chose. So Michael is on both of those lists. Elijah, Matthew, Connor with OR, and then Jonathan.
Interesting. So what I'm hearing is a lot of people name their kid David, and then after they got home, they went, wait, we just named our kid Dave? And then they went back and was like, we actually want to change it to Michael or something.
And then I see a lot of people name their kid Michael and then was like, that was stupid. And then they went home and was like, let's keep it to Michael.
Do you think you should...
Because it's on both lists.
Actually, do you think you should tell people the baby name as you're considering it, or do you think I should keep it a secret until the day that the baby comes?
This is going to sound like an asshole response. I don't know if people care enough. I think you should just keep it to whatever the fuck you want to do. I think with you and your woman, you should decide, hey, what makes us comfortable. If we want to tell people the baby's name, great. But like, if not, like,
I don't think I
hold on
want to
that
workshop the name. I'm like slightly workshopping the name, but I don't think it's a good idea once you've been like, I really want to name my kid Kanye or whatever it is.
I really
once you tell people they're
don't know
gonna,
what you're having, right?
One person's gonna be like, I don't know yet, but I will know by the time this is published. I think.
Or you are going to know. Are you going to know?
finding out
I'm
the
gonna
sex.
know.
Huh?
They're finding out the sex.
I know.
of the baby.
I was just saying, like, some people do choose to not know the sex. I
Yeah,
don't know if
we
you're
are.
gonna
I don't really get the like choose not to.
Why not?
I don't know. Just like so, it's a double surprise.
You don't like surprises?
It's just more fun to picture the future, you know?
I really liked Park. Remember Park?
We can't stop thinking about Park.
I
We thought
loved Park.
Park was great.
We thought it was
And I kept thinking when we were doing the podcast, and we didn't know you were pregnant at the time, but when we read that article and we were like, oh, Park Reinecker, I was like, wait, that actually sounds so good.
I was like, would it be weird if I named the child that
I think that sounds so good. And I honestly have not stopped thinking about that.
I did like Park too. I think we all were like, yo,
Park is a really good
But
name.
I will say this much. If that bitch invoices you for $10,000, I don't want you fucking getting mad because you are blatantly stealing her name. She's like, he's wrong. He said it on the podcast. He got Park from me. It's like, you don't own Park.
She sues me. She sues
She
my
wins.
baby. I have to change his name to Michael.
Baby's in court, can't hold his head up.
I realized that I like, my dad's named John. His brothers are Paul, Mark, Neil, Katie, Bob. So it's a pretty standard
These are
family.
all standard names.
Pretty
Disciples.
standard fast family.
And then the last two.
Where Claudia is more into, wind being a name, stuff like that.
Oh, Claudia's got plans to be rich.
She didn't say wind. Well, I know. She said a few things.
Claudia has rich names.
She suggested lemon, and I
Rich.
said we're not famous enough to name our kid Lemon.
Yeah, when you name your kids Lemon or like Seven or anything of that nature, Seven is now normal, but it didn't used to
Seven's
be.
a
I
good
remember when
name.
that shit came out. Like I said, it was Erykah Badu and Andre 3000 named their kid Seven. That shit was mind blowing. Didn't know you can name your kid Seven, a number. But when you name your kid something like that, you're just saying to the kid, you're gonna be rich enough that applications, interviews, anything doesn't matter. Your name is Lemon. You're already set for life. You're good to go. If the kid does not know if he's set for life, don't name it Lemon.
Well, I mean, I have confidence in this kid.
Or Lemon, just puts a fire under the kid. My friend's name is Michael Jordan.
That's true.
Michael B. Jordan just had to put a fire under his ass. I don't want to be known as a second tier Michael Jordan. So what do? You work your whole life to become Michael B. Jordan. You become something greater than Michael Jordan in your head.
There's something greater than Lemon Reinecker.
Yeah.
I got a baby list, and I would read them to Claudia, and she'd be like, nah, I don't know. And then I read another list, and she was like, I like that one.
Ooh.
I like that one. Oh, that one's
These were
good.
all made up names.
Right,
The
that
second
one.
list was like you were making up names in another room.
I said, you know what the second list is? They're dog
Fractions.
names.
They were dog names?
They're dog names.
Damn. What name did she like?
She likes a ton of dog names.
A ton of dog names. Huh?
But we'll see.
Maybe she's ready for a
see
new
what
dog,
happens.
too.
It's also fun to just randomly walk around the earth and just kind of be like, laptop Reinecker? Nah. Niente Reinecker? Maybe. Vintage Reinecker? Too on the nose. But you might be able to find a word there. Estate Reinecker?
I got one. Subscribe, Ryan.
Subscribe, Reinecker. Like and subscribe, guys. Check us out. And follow us on TikTok.
Yeah. Should we get to the news?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan tells listeners to vote Republican, bashes Dems COVID-19 errors. Podcaster Joe Rogan pushed his listeners to vote Republican while taking Democratic Party leaders to task over their policies related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The comedian slammed COVID-19 lockdowns and other restrictive measures during a discussion with NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers on an episode of The Joe Rogan Experience. Rogan and Rodgers each pointed to measures taken in some Democrat-led states to limit outdoor dining and beach access as COVID-19 cases surge as an example of missteps, with the latter referencing California Governor Gavin Newsom's infamous outing at the French Laundry restaurant even as the state implemented restrictions. I hope there's a lesson learned in this because this is a new thing, Rogan said. We had never had this before. No one that was alive today had ever experienced a true pandemic, and I'm hoping that now this is over, people are going to recognize that some serious errors were made and not repeat those. As far as compensation for all those people that were forced to close their businesses and keep their doors shut and lost everything they had worked for decades to build, no, they're just going to be angry. So what do you tell those people, Rodgers asked. Vote Republican, a laughing Rogan responded. That's what a lot of them are going to do anyways.
Okay, well, that wasn't as quite like, hey, everyone, vote Republican as much as, well, if you didn't like how the policies affected you, vote for the other guy.
Yeah,
I get
it was
that.
kind of framed up a little different. Alana still had to read it to you. I watched the video.
You watched the video?
Yeah, I saw the
I
clip.
did not.
Yeah, because it was framed up a little bit like Aaron Rodgers asked him, well, what should people do? And he said, vote Republican. then took a 10-second pause and just smirked. It was like, I said it. Like, that was like it felt like, for me, he was like a weight lifted from my shoulders. I've never fucking said on this show that I was a devout Republican. I've done everything to bring everybody on this show that's going to vote red. I brought the Proud Boys. I brought the NRA guys. I brought everything in between. People on here to tell you to take fucking medicine that doesn't actually work or some shit for COVID. I brought anyone that may possibly lean or walk that line of conservative side on this show already. It felt like he was just like, this feels good to be like, fuck it, vote Republican.
I still think he's doing the thing where I feel like he brings everybody right to the goal line and then goes, but I don't know, you decide. That's that type of thing. It's like, vote Republican, and then like, I mean, that's what they're probably going to do anyway, so I would just tell them to do what they're already going to do.
But that's not real. That's manipulative.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like, I just want to make sure we're pointing that out, and that we're not just being like, it's not him. He's just Jigsaw, who's like, I put you in this room, but I didn't make you kill yourself. You're like, yeah, but you're still the person with the influence, the power, and everything else. You're telling people to vote Republican. And you're not saying because of policy or because of these things. You're saying because the mom and pop stores who went hard and were working for this stuff is now closed down. A lot of that stuff is happening from time as well, Joe Rogan. And you're just trying to act like this is going to be a simple fix and solve, and we can get back to blue collar workers. I don't give a fuck how you pitch this shit. It won't get back to certain times. We're also a product of our time that we are. You know what I'm saying? And
wait, also, when the COVID-19 pandemic happened, who was in office again? Wasn't it
Trump?
I think it was a Republican. So
they forget.
Why are you blaming Democrats?
Who didn't give us any checks? Trump. People. It's just very easy. Number one, I don't think Joe Biden's doing the best job. I'm not here to say Joe Biden is doing the best job. I also don't think Joe Biden is doing much of what, I mean, like, in that position in the first place, I don't know how much power people really have versus how much they hold a title in a position. How much does the person who's the president at a company really have versus the board and the actual chairman and CEO? And like, how much power do you really have?
Shareholders.
Yeah. Exactly. So for me, it's like, oh, all of these people are going to have more influence. I think Joe Biden is doing a lot of what he can do. The country is in a bad place right now as well. Nothing can be fixed overnight. A lot of the things that are happening were gonna happen regardless. And it's just easy to point the finger when you're already not satisfied with the outcome of the election. To say, on top of that, look at all this stuff happening. I think that it's easy as well. Like, what scares me and what gets me really sad is that, like, and who split that vote and how we got here and how the country was really divided. Black people don't trust Joe Biden, right? We don't deal with politics a lot, and this is a very blanket statement, so I know that it's blanket. I'm not trying to say all black people. That sounds outrageous, but we don't be trusting politics and government in this country, in which we shouldn't. So, with that being said, on the outside, on a very surfacey level, Joe Biden isn't doing a great job, and then his marketing isn't great. And then on top of that, he is going through dementia right in front of us. Like, he is having...
Yeah, the dude's old.
Yeah, he is having real issues right in front of us. So all that stuff just makes a very I won't say concrete, but a foundation that's already loose within our voting within this country, even looser. Because we're like, oh, well, we tried to do what we thought was the quote-unquote right thing, and it got us here. We were going to be here regardless. And if we bring somebody like Trump in, I can promise you it's going to be 10 times worse for us the second time around.
Yeah.
It's not going to be better.
Also, you just kind of got me to think about that a little bit, because the first time I heard it, I was like, well, that makes sense. But after I thought about it a little bit, it doesn't make sense to go, well, under a Republican, those restrictions were made. Just because Democrats are more safety cautious now than Republicans are doesn't mean Republicans didn't make that same exact call in that same exact time to shut everything down. And now you're saying that, like, well, that side believes in not following health and safety measures, which is a weird thing to stand on, because that could be a big problem in the future if you're like, well, our side historically is going to be on the side of health and safety measures. Last time we did follow health and safety measures, and that was a bad idea. We're not going to follow them this time.
You know why a lot of people like Trump and don't like Biden? It's very simple. This is a very guy that I'm speaking for right now.
Yeah.
It's just because Biden comes across like pussy and Trump don't. Like, and to me, on behind the scenes, I feel like Trump pussy. But
I think he's such a pussy. He puts his fucking makeup on for 2 hours in the morning.
I agree. Biden on the other side, I just feel like because, like you said, we end up on the side of health and safety and blah, 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 and more precautious. People normally associate those words with pussy. Like, so there's a lot of which people feel like physically, but also spiritually and mentally, Joe Biden isn't strong enough to run a country as such, right? When so many people are behind Trump, who is telling you I tell you this much.
I made a decision once, and this is why I did it from the gut.
Yes, from the perspective of people, Trump he's a fucking lunatic, right? For having them storm the Capitol on January 6th. Also, to that person, he ain't no pussy. He told you to take over the fucking government. You know how gangsta that is for a nigga to be like, hey, we gonna run up in that shit. They like, ain't that your shit? Hey, nigga, that don't even matter. What we gonna focus on is the fact that these niggas in there think it's sweet. And they like, all right, we gonna do that shit then. And he never told them to not do it. So he's done things in there. He stole documents. He ain't no pussy in their eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why that's
what I was thinking of. Like, you were like, there's shareholders and there's other parts of the company, but Trump didn't really do that. He was like, the Muslims are out. And we were like, that's unconstitutional. And they were like, yeah, we like unconstitutional.
Yes.
But my shirt, it has the American flag wrapped in the Constitution. That's right. Not the Constitution wrapped in the American flag. The American flag wrapped in the Constitution with the Blue Lives Matter stripe right down the middle. You know, and then you're like, wait, what are you talking about? Didn't you attack the police in order to get in that Capitol to rip up the Constitution?
Yep.
They're like, yeah. Flying the American flag next to a Southern flag in the same place.
You know, I just think that, like, I don't like when people like Joe Rogan to go back, or Kanye, just so people don't think this is a race issue, or a Kanye, when people who have certain influence and certain power just hold it irresponsibly. When they choose to be like, I'm not a political guy, but here's my opinion on politics, as we do in the show, but I'll let you know straight up and down. I'm smoking and I'm drinking and I'm bullshitting with y'all. Like, yeah, I'm not right about every fucking thing on this show. I think the difference is, to me at least, and I could be wrong, I don't watch the show enough, completely wrong, but I feel like Joe Rogan speaks in a way that he is right to his viewers, and he speaks to them like this is what it is. Versus, I don't know the fuck I'm talking about, because I'm not afraid to the Wine Weed fans. I don't know the fuck I'm talking about. I'm trying to figure this shit out every day with y'all.
Half of the stories were just making up news stories. But I think he definitely plays the role of an expert in whatever room he's in. And that's why there's so many funny clips of him not looking like an expert when he's pretending to be. And I think I think he has a really curious mind, and that's like kind of how it attacks things. But I definitely think that his bias shines through, while at the same time him being like, but I'm not a biased guy. And that's the part that I feel like is a little manipulative.
Yeah.
You're taking someone to the finish line. You're having Mark Zuckerberg on your show.
Yeah.
And you're being like, so the Hunter Biden story could have come out, but then you guys didn't talk so much about the Hunter Biden story and then be like, but I guess it happens on both sides. So let's move on. And you're like, well, I said it happens on both sides. Yeah, but why do you spend so much time
exactly
talking about that? Why did this whole show seem to just feature the Hunter Biden
He's
thing?
definitely that guy. And look, I have nothing against Joe Rogan. I just want to remind all of us to not put so much faith in someone who used to make us eat Beatles on television in front of us. It was like, yo, you could dive, eat the scorpion, but we need you to eat 5 to make it to the next round. It's like, don't put so much faith in this dude.
Man, NBC late night television in the early 2000s really got a president and the #1 talk show host out of it.
Damn.
Fear Factor and The Apprentice just back to back.
Is there anything else that we're missing? They were back to back?
I don't know, but it would be
It
cool.
feels like they were back-to-back shit. That felt real.
The Swan?
I used to watch The Swan.
Yeah.
That was really messed up.
The Swan was the most fucked up reality show we've ever
Of all
done.
time.
I was very
If
into
you look it up,
It was like...
it's one person who's like, I don't like the way I look. And
No,
they
it's
have-
like sometimes people
it's a group.
volunteer
It's a
them.
group of people being like, hey, this person is kind of beat. and
Women's
ugly.
husbands were like,
Yeah.
like putting them onto the show.
And dudes were putting their wives on the show.
and an expert.
yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
And they say we're gonna make you over, but not just with a fashion person or a makeup person, a hair person, with a plastic.
We're gonna
surgeon
break your
as well.
face. They would legitimately. It was okay because Chris
And
said
they
it was one
couldn't
of the
see
worst shows
themselves
ever.
either.
I would argue it's one of the best shows
I
ever.
liked it.
I would say it's one of the most
It is fucked up for
gnarly
sure.
reality show experiments that's ever happened.
That's good reality TV.
We should have one of them as a guest on Why and Weed, like a Where Are They Now?
A Swan.
Yeah, I would like to see where they're at in life.
Melania. We find out she was a Swan character. We're like, damn, 3 people from ABC.
Want to buy canned whipped cream in New York State? Don't forget your ID. The next time you buy a can of whipped cream in New York, be prepared to show some ID. A little-known state law banning sales of cartridges using in cans of whipped cream to those under 21 has only recently been noticed and enforced to the amusement of customers unaware of the not-so-new regulation. The age limit was enacted 9 months ago to curb teens' possible abuse of nitrous oxide, commonly known as laughing gas. The nitrous oxide found in whipped cream canisters when it is abused as a narcotic is commonly referred to as whippets. Megan Macy, 43, couldn't understand why she was being carded this month at her Hanford supermarket in Watertown. I thought, what is going on? I was looking in my cart. What am I being ID'd for? I'm so confused.
I'm so confused.
The kids are doing.
No,
whippets.
I know Whippets. Yeah, I didn't know that whipped cream actually had a connection with Whippets this whole time. I'm so slow that I thought Whippets was just his own separate drug thing, canisters that people were getting from wherever the fuck they get them from. Let me go a little further to say this. If you do Whippets, to each his own, but you look fucking stupid. If you travel somewhere with this canister and you're not drinking like water or some shit, don't pull up to my house or anywhere else and make me think that you're like went on a fucking run.
You look like
and then
a
you
clown.
start doing drugs. I'm like, yo, fam, this is wild. Because like also the explanation of Whippets, I know it's like a dad on this show and I will sound like a fucking dad.
Well,
but the explanation be like, well, what does whippet make you feel like? Oh, it makes your brain feel this big for like a good 10 seconds. Why the fuck would you want your brain to just play Pong in your head and float around for 10 seconds? I don't know.
And y'all just look crazy.
it pops a bunch of brain cells, right? It just kind of like that's the sound of your brain exploding.
That's what it is,
and
right?
then it makes you laugh a lot, right?
I think
don't
it's
know.
that. I think that people laugh a lot on it. Also, it's a more European thing. They sell it in the clubs in Europe.
Yeah.
We were in Brussels.
Right.
Everybody was doing whippets right there in the club. We was like, what the fuck is going on?
It was like table service.
The
table service.
craziest
Like-
thing I ever saw were the 2 Instagram girls at Delilah at a table in like the main dining room area, at the table, sitting on the table with a 2 boxes, I guess, like one of Whippets, one where they were like doing the empty cartridges.
The
And I was
recycling
like,
Whippets
yeah, I had seen someone do Whippets before. But I had never seen people do it out in the open, and definitely not at Delilah. I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And they were just going through like, it had to have been like 100 of them, just like back to back to back to back to back. I was like, this is
seen-
wild.
I've seen that happen before because it's like a big thing that like fills up balloons, and then there's a bunch of
There's, like, little-
like
yeah, it's
almost
little
like
ones.
like those vapes that
Yeah,
look like little
it looks like
canisters.
like
those.
shotgun
Yeah.
fucking bullets. Yeah, them
like
shit's
the
like
pill
shells and shit.
emoji.
They're pretty big, but it's
And they're just everywhere, and you're like, what
Everywhere. They were
what
all
are
over
we
the
doing?
table.
Like everything feels gross.
what is going on, fam?
And then if you're that's if you're not doing them, you're like everything feels weird and gross. And then if you are doing them, you're also like everything feels weird and gross because you feel like
you don't feel good? Are you tried?
yeah,
You don't feel good?
I've done whip it nights maybe twice or 3
Whip it
times in my
nights?
life. I've been like a whip it night. Like one time I did them when I was in high school for the first time ever, I think before anything, and I was like, that was insane.
See, high school
Drugs
makes sense
seem
though.
fun.
High
Yeah.
school makes sense.
But I
Like,
just did it once. and
Yeah,
then
yeah, high
I
school makes sense.
And then I did it. And then I think once in my 20s,
Yeah.
like the guy had a bunch of whippet canisters and
Okay.
he had his own whippet thing he brought to a party. And it was like, is this drugs? This is weird.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, but it was, but there were, And then the other time was in Europe. And it's just like, whoa.
Oh, you fucked with him in Europe?
Yeah, I tried. And you're kind of like, maybe I did like 4 or something.
Oh, word.
Because you're like, whoa, you feel like high, like a bunch of helium, like when you make your voice high. But then you're kind of like, I feel something. And then you're like, I feel nothing. I guess I'll do it again. And it's like that weird, like, oh, I guess I'll do more. And it's not really for anything. And it's, I don't know.
The first person I ever saw do whippets was Eric Andre. He came on Ridiculousness and did whippets right there in front of the fucking crowd, which was crazy. And I was like, I didn't even get it at the time he was doing it. He brought his shit up there. I thought he was going to get thirsty on stage. I was like, niggas bring up they phones and different things. But maybe he has a hydration situation where he's like, I got to bring up my canister to drink some water. And then he was like, there's some whippets right here. And I was like, cool. And then the crowd was like, crazy, gnarly. And then they made us edit it out because they were like, well, we can't have whippets on the show. And he was like, well, you don't fucking know what it is. It could be nothing in the canister. Like, it could be nothing in the container. I don't think we should have to edit it out. They did anyway. But yeah, for me, it's just like, I don't know, man. I think number one, it's the traveling kit. The traveling kit is too much. If I can't just carry a joint somewhere and smoke it and be like, and I also want everybody on this show to know or watching this show to know something very clearly. I'm a fucking prude. So if you're watching this and you do whippets, don't feel like any kind of way. I'm a prude when it comes to drugs. I smoke weed. I keep it very simple. But I just think that the traveling kit is a little fucking weird to be traveling places.
How do you feel about somebody who brings a bong someplace?
Bring a bong?
Do people travel a bong?
Okay, if you're
to parties?
It could happen.
I got it cool. If you bring a bong, if you bring in whippets, you bring in stuff, I don't like you.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
fucking
just a
like
lot
you.
to you.
It's a lot. It's like, oh, dude, like you're now crossing over from this is recreational to this is my life. And that becomes too much for me. Like, if you're like, oh, if you're the dude that showed up in my crib with a bong, this is your life, fam. You travel with your bong, which means you're protecting it, which means you're washing it, which means you're like, I'm going to keep it in the back and make sure it doesn't get hurt.
Do you
It's
feel
your
that way
baby.
about everybody who brings party equipment?
Party equipment?
That's what I'm thinking.
Give me an example.
If
you
show
brought
up
your
with a
own
beer
fucking
pong
hookah to my
table.
house, if you brought your own beer pong table to my house, I don't want you here.
But but at some parties, you got to bring people to bring
But
the
bring
party
your own
equipment.
liquor.
You show
We
up.
want you here.
But you like liquor.
You can bring your own
somebody
liquor.
brings a 30-pack, that's fine, even though it's
30 pack of beer?
Yeah.
I don't even drink beer. You probably not even my type of person. Why are you in my house?
You gonna kick somebody out for just drinking beer?
If you bring a 30 pack, I'm gonna ask you. If you bring a 30 pack of natural ice, you gotta get the fuck out of my house. Yeah. If you
and
bring,
a beer pong table?
Yeah, you gotta get the fuck out of my house.
Like-
Yeah, no. I'm not having. I got nice shit around here. If you bring like a 30 pack of
knew I
like
should
some
have brought my
IPA
bong.
or some shit, you're like, you guys are gonna really like this. It's some expensive beer, nice beer. I might be like, I don't drink beer, fam, but you seem like you keep it classy. But I don't trust a nigga that's bringing 30 fucking Bud Lights in my crib. No, nigga, you about to break some shit for sure.
This is just you in today's day and age. But in the past, do you like
I
people
never
with party
partied with that
equipment?
person.
You don't like anyone who brings party equipment.
You're too much. You are too much as a human being. We know an individual that I'm not even sure he does bring party equipment, but I could see him bringing party equipment.
I think
And-
I think you're thinking of somebody who, when I said bring a beer pong table, it was the person I was picturing.
Oh, well, no, that's a different person. I know you're talking about a beer pong table. That person might bring a beer pong table, but that guy can still be cool. I wouldn't want, I think.
I think. Yeah, okay.
So I was thinking
Y'all did not.
Yeah, I know. I brought it back to the microphone. I don't know why. I will just edit that out. Oh, bleep it. But it's even more fun that way when you bleep it. But for me, yeah, he's the guy that brings a 30 pack and I kick him out immediately because I know what energy he's bringing. And I'm like, no, I don't want you in my house with a 30 pack and then you break some shit. I never hung around this dude. He was always weird and bad trouble to me. Like, if you, fam, like, why are you bringing certain shit with you? Like for you to, number one, it's one thing to do
It's
something.
fun and they're games.
It's one
know?
thing to do something. It's another thing to become something. It is a completely different thing.
Yeah, I guess if you show up with a bong, you are the guy with the bong.
You're the bong guy, and you're probably a stoner. You're probably like not even really here with us. You could have stayed home with this fam. Because bong rips, I never partied with bongs. I'm not a bong guy.
And you're right. You are kind of, in a way, I mean, maybe like a college party. Maybe everyone's kind of in the vibe.
The guy brings a college party. It makes sense.
Yeah.
The guy brings whippets. Makes sense at a college party. I'm a grown ass man.
Okay, so that's what I was kind of
But
saying.
even before this, I still couldn't do it.
You
But
personally,
me personally. But
you understand the rule of somebody bringing
100%.
a bong to a party. But
If I showed up at a fucking college party and a nigga didn't have a bong and a nigga didn't have a keg, I'd be disappointed. But I showed up here for y'all to have certain things.
I was going to ask about kegs.
Yeah, for you to have certain things.
You can go to a party with party accessories, but you don't want somebody to show up to your house with party accessories.
To my house, even if I'm having a party, because number one, I'm a host. I'm a good enough host. I don't need you to bring anything. I have everything we need here. Anything you're bringing means that you're trying to curate my party now, and I don't like that because I like me.
Do you bring party accessories?
I bring everything. I have everything in my house.
I mean to other
bring
people's parties.
A bottle of wine or a bottle of tequila, whatever.
Yeah, bring a donation like that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I'll bring, like, somebody says we're having a game night, bring a game. I might bring one game and say I brought Taboo. You guys like Taboo? Cool. But nigga, I'm not bringing a keg. Oh, you gotta get some help with this nigga.
I got a great game. Requires a keg, a bong, and a bunch of whippets.
You guys ready? What?
You guys watch Ellen?
Yeah.
Start putting up heads up.
Yeah, but you're like, I do like heads up. It's the other stuff I don't like. No, it's just, for me, it's like, I don't know. Like, yeah, Chris, if I invited you to my house and you showed up with a 30-pack of, it's natural ice, right? Or is it natural light?
What if I showed up with a 30-pack of natural ice and natural light?
Okay, cool.
One of them is the
See, I know my
Budweiser.
Shit.
One of them is the Bud Light.
I got you. Cool.
So if I showed up in the and you were like, Chris, you're showing up with a 30 rack. But then I set up a beer pong table and two friends were like, I'll go. And by the end, it was like, yeah. We're like playing the quarters game. And you're like, I've never even seen anyone play the quarters game.
Yeah.
And then like, it's a hit. Are you still mad?
Number one.
Are you like...
Number one, Chris, you'd probably be the only white person at my party, so that wouldn't be a hit.
What if?
Second of all, if it was it wouldn't get a chance to be a hit because I would stop you from setting up your beer pong table. I'm just being real with you. I'd be like, yo, you brought a beer pong table. That was crazy. Put it over there to the side of the house so nobody else has to see it. Or I would be like, I already have a beer pong table. Because I do have a beer pong table here. I have a floating one that you can do in the water.
I was just thinking about a floating one.
I have a floating one you can do in the pool. And then I have like a pool table and shit I've let niggas play beer pong on before. But like, you bringing your own beer pong table just seems like you're not a person I want to party with. It's not even about the situation or the activity. It's the entitlement and the audacity to be like
an uncleared beer pong table too. You're not even like, would it be fun if we play beer pong? I can bring my table.
Yeah, if you didn't text me, like, also, you know me. It's so easy just to text me and say, yo, dude, think about doing this. What kind of vibe is it? If you're like,
what kind of vibe is it? Pop open a trunk, it has a beer pong table, a bong, a bunch of whippets, and that's like, just taboo.
You're traveling with all that stuff is wild.
There are apartments for this? You do this often, huh?
Sydney Sweeney addresses backlash after mother's birthday pics spark right-wing accusations. Sydney Sweeney is facing heat after posting pictures on social media that were interpreted as political statements. In celebration of her mother's birthday, the Euphoria star took to Instagram on Saturday to share photos from her mother's birthday party. The picture that landed Sweeney in hot water features an unidentified man wearing a shirt supporting Blue Lives Matter, the pro-police counter movement created in response to Black Lives Matter. No better way to celebrate my mama than a surprise hoedown. The 24-year-old actress captioned the series of pictures. The aforementioned photo has sparked backlash, with some people accusing Sweeney of having right-wing motivations. In addition, several memes have since circulated social media, with many joking about where Sweeney and her family were when the January 6th riots took place. Sweeney took to Twitter on Saturday to deny the accusations.
Yeah, this is interesting. At first, Chris didn't think it was too interesting because he didn't look too much into it. I didn't either. I saw a picture and I was like, let me just click this, see what this is about. And within the picture, there was her dad standing next to her with a Blue Lives Matter shirt on.
That's what I saw.
Which I'm like, yo, a couple things before I even get into the rest of it. Number one, this is kind of a political statement, in my opinion. This is a little bit like, I stay on this side. Am I like, want to beat you up for it? No, I don't want to beat you up, Sydney. You wearing a Blue Lives Matter shirt. You wearing your favorite shirt on somebody's birthday. Whenever I go to somebody's birthday, I think about my best attire or something I want to really impress somebody with. So you were like, let me wear a Blue Lives Matter shirt. But I don't have a problem with that either, necessarily. I have a problem because I believe this is an actual a theme birthday. I think you wore your Blue Lives Matter shirt because it goes with the theme of Make 60 Great Again, right? Which is Make America Great Again. Play on that. For me, It's a way that you get to backhandedly say we support Trump, we support blah, 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 and who the fuck wants to use the logo for Make America Great Again and try to flip it? It ain't y'all nigga. It ain't like y'all was like...
his mom definitely... Is it his mom's birthday or dad's birthday?
It's her mom's birthday. Yeah, it's her mom's birthday. Her 60th.
Definitely
Her 60th.
is not a Biden supporter.
No.
It was like, you know what mom would love? If we pretend like she was Trump for a day. Mom would love that. And I think that takes it. Okay, so with the Blue Lives Matter shirt, I could see like somebody in my family wearing a fucking Blue Lives Matter shirt and me being like, I don't want to have this discussion right now. You wore an American flag shirt to a hoedown, and I'm going to question you about the blue stripe, and like, I don't even want to go into it. So like, fine, that's who you are. That one I'm fine with. But when you throw a party for somebody, I found a Trump mug or something that said that was a funny grandpa thing. And it was as if Trump was saying it. It kind of felt like it was making fun of Trump. But I sent it to my sister I personalized it for my dad and sent it to my sister as a joke. Like, wouldn't it be crazy if we got him this? But I'm never going to pay anybody to make something that glorifies Trump. It makes
But it wouldn't
me
be making
feel
fun
bad.
of him, though, because your dad's a Trump supporter. So
Right.
you wouldn't try to make fun of him, your dad,
Well,
would you?
I would try to make fun of him to my
Oh,
dad.
you would? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know your relationship like
Yeah. I mean, I would be like, it's like, he's talking like Trump. It's like a super dad joke for a 60-year-old guy.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, I could see my dad liking a Trump-themed birthday. I'm not going to throw him one.
Question. Because at the end of the day, only one of you is on television. Only one of you is a movie star. Only one of you is in the position that you're in. Only one of you is taking the backlash for it, really. Even though it's your mother's birthday, it's still you. If that was to happen, and let's just say hypothetically you had a party, it's your mom's birthday, she wants a Trumpster festival, and they throw her one. You show up because it's your mom, you love her, and you get a picture like that. Are you not... Maybe I'm giving you the answer here. Are you not blurring or like putting an emoji or something? Like I'm asking you a serious question. Is it disrespectful to let's say hypothetically your uncle, that's your uncle sitting next to you, and you're like, yo, he's wearing a Blue Lives Matter shirt. I don't necessarily support this. I don't want this. Is it right to put an emoji over it, or are you blocking his freedom of speech by being like, that's a shirt I want to wear? Now it's on your page. You're smart enough to know, hey, this is my page. This fucking Make America Great Again hat and these Blue Lives Matter shirts may cause a predicament unless you grew up in a household where you feel the exact same way.
Well, or unless you grow up with people that like, some people like that shit, and like that's just reality. You know what I mean? You can post something with gang members and it's not like you're in a gang all of a sudden. You're like, yeah, these guys are in gangs, but like I know these people and these people know me.
But with
like I'm friends with these people.
With gang members and throwing up gang signs are completely different.
Yeah, and I think the post is throwing up the gang sign.
They are, I'm telling you.
But just standing, but just being in a picture with him is not throwing up.
I know niggas that done felonies and I'm cool with them. Guess what? They ain't throwing up gang signs and saying arrest me again. If I got a picture with my homie, it's not my job to tell you what he's done in his past. I'm not here to say that Sydney should be on her mom's shoulder saying, just so you guys know, she voted Trump. I think that, like, okay, that's fine. I think that if I was next to my homies and they banging GD, BD, whatever it is, hard as fuck, blood, hard as fuck in my picture, as the person on television, I'm smart enough to say, guess what? I don't need you banging blood on my page, fam.
But you're saying that you are smart enough to say that. I think Sydney Sweeney's 24 years old. She's from 3 hours from where I'm from.
Oh, she is.
She's 24. She's young. She's from 3 hours from where I'm from, which is a very I completely there's not a thought in my mind that she probably has a lot of family members that are Republican and conservative and racist. And I think that honestly, as someone who's from around those parts, there's not ever a time where I look at someone who's white and I don't automatically assume they are, but I'm not stupid enough to not think that they're the daughter or son, or they don't have a cousin or brother or whatever who looks at me and doesn't like me because of what I look like. And I think that that's just kind of the way we're in. But I also think she's 24 years old. I don't know if she's was registering it like, oh, that's a Blue Lives Matter shirt, I shouldn't post this. I don't think she completely is aware. And I think that we would be I don't know, very judgmental to put that on her too. What I will say, I just pulled up this other article. In May 31st, 2020, she supports Black Lives Matter on her Instagram and on her Twitter, and was vocal about that. I just don't think
in some ways it's good to party with those people so that you can be like, oh, hey, I actually see the world a different way, and they can
Chris,
get
shut
those
up. I'll punch you in the
perspectives
throat.
from you.
That's not true. It's cool to party with people. It's different when the thematic party. I'm not going to a plantation party to be like, let me go and spread the word. It's like, nigga, pick a different day. Like, you're at the end of the day, but you're in the picture. You're the person. No, because we're making excuses. This person's still
I don't like
24 and on a fucking HBO show. They have management, they have agents, they have everything. You have representation. You have people behind you as you work in a very liberal space. You work in Hollywood, a very liberal space. You have people behind you at least that can let you know what to post and what not to post. I guarantee her page goes through multiple people before it goes up on her actual page. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be proud of her mother. I'm not saying she should be like, fuck all of my family, they suck. None of that. I'm saying if your family is choosing to throw up GD or BD or blood in a fucking picture with you, it's very simple. You either don't post a picture, you put a different one because your mom is still 60 no matter what. Without the hat on, she's still 60. Or you choose to fucking say, hey guys, I can't support this just because of these different things. I love you, mom. I wish your daddy did this and this was going on. But for you, I'm not going to just give you the out that just because I know racist people, I have to still party with them and let them take pictures around me.
It's a little different when it's your family. I think
I'm not telling her to throw away her family, but she is in a position of now
a lot of people that you and I know have family members that are racist. And just because, she's on a platform and everything, but I still feel like that's who she is, and that's a representation of a lot of America. We know a lot of white people, and I'm sure that they're not racist, but I'm sure they have grandparents and uncles and aunts and parents.
They're not on pictures with them being like Confederate flag. Nigga, I follow the white people I fucking choose to follow. They're not posting pictures with Confederate flags, or else I would probably unfollow them, or else I would probably tell them, hey, this is problematic for me. For these reasons. That's all I'm saying.
And some people will follow her more now.
I'm not holding her accountable. I think that there's definitely room for us to unpack it and for her to do better.
That if this is your family, you wouldn't. No, I think my family does have very conservative views on different things sometimes, and I tell them straight to their fucking face, I don't view this shit like that. Fuck out of here. And that's where I live in, and maybe that's a comfortability in being 34 versus 24. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to bully this little girl either. I'm saying that we live in a time where the PC police also are her age. We live in a time where...
Also, what if she does lean?
Yeah, and look,
right.
Then fucking say it with your chest. With your big-ass chest.
I kind of think she is saying it a little bit. No, she's just dog whistling.
Her chest is nice.
People
I wouldn't mind her saying
yes, and you say it with that.
Big-ass chest. No, I'm saying, like, she could just be like, yo, like, I don't want to even get into politics, or she could just not say anything.
Okay, but...
She came out and said this was not a political statement.
But it's a very big political statement. Sydney has 100 pictures with her mother without a red fucking hat on that says make 60 great again.
All of the pictures that she posted from the day, they didn't have that. The pictures that her brother posted or other people from the party, that's where they're pulling the pictures from. I mean, she herself weren't putting those pictures out there.
That's fair. No,
that's what I was
I'll give her more points for that. I'll give her more points for that because I don't follow her because I'm not a pervert. So I'm not. So I'm just not on her page, just being like, "Oh, Sydney, what's going on this motherfucker?" But I did see photos that had the hats that looked like it was 5 people in the photo.
I know, but those were not pictures that she posted.
I know, but that still says to me that this. Okay, and that brings up a different question. I guess a bigger question. I don't even know if I'm gonna frame it right. I'm gonna try. I promise I'm gonna try. Do you think that then you have the right... I'm trying to think how to really view this, because like Hollywood isn't technically liberal. It just has views that skew toward
Well, I don't know. It kind of sounds like you're saying like you have to think about everyone being liberal. There's another world.
No, I'm not saying
there's another world where somebody's from Seattle and their mom has a Hillary Clinton pantsuit themed party. There isn't really that world because Trump supporters make Trump their personality.
Yeah.
And Democrats don't do that as much, but some people do with pantsuits.
But even if you, I've never heard of this party.
I'm just saying, let's say that existed.
But yeah, other than the personal people that the Clintons have killed, I don't think that they're doing the other things that Trump did. I know to the actual
I agree
society.
with you, and the facts
it's not
support
the same.
that.
It's not the same backing. It's not the same thing.
But to them, they don't care about the facts. They feel this way, and then also in Montana, you're surrounded by a bunch of people who like this is their personalities.
Yeah.
So like you have to like live with them.
I love both of y'all. You from Montana, and then you from northern, Central Coast, California. Hey, Nucky, chill. I do like you guys a lot being on this show because you give me.
Hope so.
You give me different perspective and
fuck
shit.
you.
No, thank you. You give me different perspective and different things, but like part of me also is like, I don't always care to be empathetic with like people who are on the wrong side. It's just me, and that could be super aggressive, too black for you. I get it. Cool. But I don't care to always necessarily try to understand every single nuance of why you did some shit versus because everyone doesn't try to understand the nuances of black people.
And I don't think any of us were trying.
To me, it bothers me.
At least for my argument, wasn't like,
people
I'm trying
should,
to
but
get
guess what,
you.
Chris? No, they've never cared to. So why should I have to care to find out what's going on, Sydney? What was really the party was about? Like versus like your picture, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, your picture says 10,000.
I might be putting myself a little bit like in Sydney's like position, just like as somebody in that place where, let's say people around you are conservative. Let's say my dad, who voted for Trump, is in a biker gang right now.
Is he?
Yeah, he has a Harley Davidson. And he drives motorcycles around California.
That was my grandparents.
That's what he does right now.
Yeah, sounds fun.
And if he was like, do you want to come to my birthday party? Now, I wouldn't throw him a Make America Great Again birthday party. But let's say I throw him
he invited you. He said, do you want to come to his birthday party, right?
If he says, do I want to come to his Make America Great Again? I'm probably still not coming. But let's say it's a motorcycle birthday party.
At Stone Mountain.
And I'm at Stone Mountain. I'm like, okay. And I come.
Sturgis.
Part of me thinks that is an important thing overall because you are, I'm meeting those people in my dad's life and making sure he's not going too off the edge. And B, you're meeting those people and you are an opportunity to one-on-one talk to them and maybe like humanize the other side. And so I'm trying to bring people over the other side, I don't think they're going to listen to me on a podcast saying my clip that all liberals agree with. I don't think if I'm going to be like, this is captioned and they're going to be like, oh, cool. I agree with that now. But I think if I talk to them in real life at a party, they might connect with me and be like, well, I guess I see what you're saying. I guess Black Lives Matter isn't a terrorist organization.
All right, Jesus.
And then I'll
I
be
see
like,
you trying to solve one by one. I hear you. I'm with you.
You have to. It's really the only way it gets done.
Somewhat, but I also, no disrespect. I don't have faith in you to go to a fucking motorcycle party.
I'll get two of them.
50 motorcycle dudes who are like, oh, we've been living our whole lives traveling the country, hanging niggas, to be like, oh, now we're going to listen to Chris Reinecker give us a 20-minute speech on why we should.
Maybe just a little, though.
Yeah.
I've done it before, and
I'm not saying you can't.
People just
Me and
a
you
little
have both.
bit.
I've pushed people. You've watched me push people, right?
You.
Yeah. Guess what? I also walk away thinking nothing came from that.
No, I think a lot. I can think of specific interactions I've seen you have multiple times where I'm like, a lot came from that moment.
Okay. Now let me speak as somebody that grew up in church as well. I can believe something came from a moment, but that does not mean the person is going to stay consistent with the moment, right? So I can believe that somebody came in church and got saved in that moment and said how they needed to be here because drugs have been taking over their lives and they need to fucking get cleaned again and blah, 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 and this is my life, right? Boom. In that moment, I'm there. I'm witnessing it. I'm watching the preacher preach. I'm watching the teacher teach, and I'm watching them connect. I'm watching this person feel as though they have a real opportunity. Nucky, stop it. Down. Have a real opportunity as I was saying, to really like change this person's life. And in the moment, they probably do. I go back, and maybe a week later, I see that person that was on drugs back on the street doing drugs again. I'm not saying that wasn't real. Yeah, sometimes, not always. Not always. I'm saying the racists I've talked to in the past, I walk away thinking, oh, they still hate niggas, but I'm happy to at least let us get through that conversation. That's how I feel these. But I'm happy that you feel differently. So. I'm happy that you be walking away and be like, we did some shit there. Because that's what
I think maybe I just gave a little bit of pushback in a world where they get no pushback at all.
I'm with that. I'm with you, Chris. You're doing a good thing out here. I'm with that. You my brother.
Maybe Sydney was doing that. Or maybe we're going to find out Sydney was at the Capitol.
It was also, I just want to end with this. It was her mom's 60th birthday. Yeah. And that's a huge milestone. And when you're 24 years old and your mom's 60, like she's old, she's getting up there, whatever, you want to be there for her. I also, as someone who's parted ways with family members over views and different things like that, is not the easiest thing in the world at all. And I feel like when you do that, it's not asking anyone for sympathy or anything like that, but it's also just being like, that's just the fact of some people's lives, and not everyone has to understand it.
I'm with you now, Lana. I'm with you, Chris. You know what? You guys convinced me. You know why I'm with you guys? Because I imagine Sydney on family group texts and calls for the week before, and her mom just sounded so excited about the racism they were going to bring to the earth. And she was like, this party is going to be amazing. And sometimes it doesn't have to make sense to you. You just want to see your loved one smile.
We support Sydney Sweeney.
Real shit. I'll talk to my mom sometimes about shit. I'm like, this is not it. But I'll be like, Mom, if this makes you happy, I'm with you.
Especially when your parents are old. You're like, there's no
See, Joe Rogan, you can
mind.
change your opinion from one moment to the next. Just, come on.
Secret Service recovers $286 million in stolen pandemic loans. The U.S. Secret Service said Friday that it has recovered $286 million in fraudulently obtained pandemic loans and is returning the money to the Small Business Administration. The Secret Service said in an investigation initiated by its Orlando office found that alleged conspirators submitted economic injury disaster loan applications by using fake or stolen employment and personal information and used an online bank, Green Dot, to conceal and move their criminal proceeds. The agency worked with Green Dot to identify roughly 15,000 accounts and seized $286 million connected to the accounts. This forfeiture effort and those to come are a direct and necessary response to the unprecedented size and scope of pandemic relief fraud. Billions have been fraudulently claimed through various pandemic relief programs, including paycheck protection programs, loans, unemployment insurance, and others that were rolled out in the midst of the worldwide pandemic that shut down global economics for months.
Wow. You think someone's listening right now, like in their car, like rattling their fingers, being like, they haven't got me yet?
Nah, I think it'd be more like that. I don't know. Man, I be on the side of like Robin Hood, you know. I be living in that space a lot, man. But as I am on the side of Robin Hood, it's just like, I don't like the government feeling like we're gonna come back and get you fucking criminals for all the fucking money you stole from us. And it's like, you allow billionaires to steal so much more for you to recover $286 million or whatever the fuck it was. That's a lot of money, but it's also not in the grand scheme of things, right? It's also not a fucking lot of money. We watch ourselves give money to everything as a country. And when I think about Robin Hood, I think about the poor. The people who stole these PPP loans were people who were not getting checks in the first place. People who couldn't,
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them
for sure.
Were business some of them were big businesses, but they had different loans. But some of them were business people. But a lot of these are them talking about the petty criminals and them trying to come and get this money back. This is the money they promised they were going to come get back. They ain't talking about big businesses, bro.
No, they're probably not taking it back from the big guys.
They're talking about the fucking...
They're talking about people who got like $90,000.
That's a whole bunch of niggas.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but
that's why someone's wrapping their...
Yeah, I'm with it, but fingers. I'm not with it again. Like, the government, like, steals money. Like, these big businesses steal money all day. It's like, yo, you should have had your system tighter. That's how I be living on shit. It's like, why was your system not tighter? Why could these little petty niggas I know, why could these little niggas from the hood I know really rob you the way they robbed you clean, government? Why your shit not better?
This is like not holding January 6 people accountable because you're like, You didn't keep the doors locked.
No,
Why
ain't
did
the
you
same
keep the
thing.
doors locked?
Ain't the same thing. Did nobody get hurt in this?
No,
Did
people
nobody
just
get-
got some money.
People just got a little money. We so mad at people getting a little fucking money.
No, it just-
what this always boils down to is everybody not getting money. That's what it always boils down to. It's never.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
people
never
did something
about the
wrong.
person. Because you know what? I used to live in that space, Chris. And I don't know if it's because I'm doing well. I don't care enough. But maybe that might be a part of it. But I think also I stopped caring about other people's shit. I just stopped caring about other people's shit. Like the person that gets caught, also, nigga, I don't care about what time you doing. I'm not here to fucking pitch for you either. Be like, let him out of prison. I'm like, hey, nigga, part of the game. You kind of knew that with the stealing, they could also catch you.
That's what I feel like is going on right now. And they have to at least publicize it to be like, some people get caught.
Yeah, some money. Boy, they're talking about the money getting back. And again, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with a game of like, hey, nigga, you stole my money. I stole it back. Cool. I robbed you back.
That's kind of what's happening.
But
I
doing
mean,
time.
Well, some people are complaining that they're not talking about them doing any time and that it's just okay to be a Wall Street person who steals. I mean, I know they're not Wall Street, but their business, when you put it in comparison with the amount of people who are owners versus the amount of people who are employees, they're still like the 1% or the 10%.
Do you want them to do real time, Alana?
No.
I think they should just have to give their money back.
Yeah.
Give the money back, right?
I think they try.
Or don't. Like,
I think we
don't
were
get the
all
money
in a
back.
desperate time and scrambling, and it was scary for it was like unprecedented, or was it
Unprecedented? Yeah.
And
I feel like people were just trying to, make amends for themselves. I'm not mad at that.
I don't know. I feel like people definitely were doing more than that. I feel like they were definitely coming up. But I'm also like, I watched billionaires come up right in front of us as well during the pandemic. A lot of them.
Yes.
Why are we so mad about the petty thief?
Right.
It's because we are not friends with the petty thief. We're friends with the billionaire. We're not friends with that nigga, so he got to give his bread back.
Yeah.
That's all what it boils down to, is taking money from the little man and keeping him there. And I'm just kind of like, yo, if the little man conned you...
And you have to show the little man that there are rules. Billionaire, no rules.
Yeah,
you do your
that's
thing,
bullshit.
buddy.
Yeah.
You do your thing. Actually, I think we should subsidize you.
Yeah.
I also love that people... I don't know. Yeah, I think that's...
I think let the little man keep his money, you know what I'm saying, for the most part. I think if over a certain amount, then like you start dealing in big boy dollars, you gotta... What amount are we like, all right, if you stole this amount in PPP loans, nigga, they gonna have to deal with you.
Like one person?
Yeah, one
stole
person
this
like,
amount?
yo, I got this amount. Because they only recovered $286
That's
million.
not a lot.
And
That
I
means
feel like
people
I
are
know a
getting, like,
nigga, I know a
20,000,
nigga personally who
30,000.
did 2 M's on it himself.
Then that nigga needs to go down.
Yeah, that guy should go to
Did too
jail.
much.
I didn't think people should go to jail, but now I think that guy should go to jail.
I think
That
people
guy is
were only
winning.
getting
I was gonna say like 30.
20 or 40,000. You were saying 30,000?
I was gonna say if you loaned your business $30K and like we found out it was kind of just to yourself, like,
during a pandemic? I don't know.
well, I mean, you're breaking the rules.
I was gonna say like you have to be in like the millions for me to be like,
The
all right,
millions?
you did too much, and I want
Oh.
to know what you did with it too.
Oh, you want the government
If
to be
you were
like,
just like,
show
I thought you
us-
were saying 30 was a lot.
I had
thought
$1
you were
million
like,
and I took all the 5 bitches to Dubai. No, you did too much. Like, but if it's like, oh, I got $1 million,
I took
and
4.
if somebody was
reasonable.
like,
It's
I
me and
took-
Sydney Sweeney.
I mean, if somebody's like, if they're like, I took a $60,000 loan and I did a home office and this and that. I'm like, let the man do a home office.
Why did the government
I'm
just
only
start
mad
their
I
own-
didn't do it.
right.
That's the only thing
Yeah,
I'm
that's
mad
what I
at.
said. Everybody's just mad they didn't get the money. Why didn't the government just start their own Shark Tank during this time and make niggas, pitch them for PPP loans right there in front of their face, in front of America's face? And it could have just been all of them. Trump would have went back to The Apprentice. We already pitched this before.
Wow.
He could have easily been like, yo, a little bit. He could have easily been like, yo, pitch me on why you deserve a PPP loan.
I mean, it would have been awesome if when he was in office, and I'm saying this, but it actually, yeah, the way
He had a reality show?
So the
whole
way,
time?
if you remember the way that I think Kennedy first had addressed the nation on television, and Obama was the first one to have a laptop on his Oval Office desk. And I think he was the first person.
Nigga, we was the first show to fucking do a whole show on a laptop. Nigga, you giving Obama credit?
I'm giving Obama the flowers. And then Trump could have been the first one to make a reality show. Like, he could have just been doing Shark Tank for PPE loans like every night. It would have been really exciting. He would have loved it. It actually would have probably just like boiled down to propaganda.
Yeah.
But it would have been a great choice.
Entertaining, though.
If I was strategizing for Trump.
Aside from all the bullshit, as much as we don't like Trump, do you miss his entertainment?
No.
Okay. There's no part of you that's like, man, I could use a laugh right now. Where's the Trumpster?
Okay, I was looking through old footage of my phone, and every once in a while, I record Trump on the television during the pandemic, right? Okay. And so I would
This is not for like anything sexual. This is just...
This is just looking at memories. And and he would pop up, and I would like watch a random speech that isn't famous, but just like him on TV. And I'd go, remember that guy?
Yeah.
And it's a little like, it was crazy.
It's like R. Kelly music. Well, I listen to it, and I'm like, this is good, but I can't admit it. Is that how you look at Trump? Old Trump, you like, God damn, he was entertaining.
He's just
be real with you. His Trump hotel in Chicago, I think about it sometimes, and I'm like, damn, I missed that.
It still exists.
Yeah, but I'm not going back.
Oh yeah, you can never go.
I would never go back.
You used to go?
I used to stay there sometimes.
I had lunch there one time.
Nice fucking situation.
It's a nice hotel.
Nice hotel. The man can make a hotel. Dave Chappelle went over that before. The man can make a hotel. But like, I don't go back to fucking Trump's hotel. But sometimes I do look back at the old things, and I'd be like, damn, why you have to fuck up? Hey, did I already talk about this before on the show?
Why do you have to fuck up? Trump?
Well, he's been fucked up. But I'm more saying, I don't know if I mentioned this, but when I saw Kevin Spacey in Paris, there was a part of me.
You saw Kevin Spacey in Paris?
I didn't discuss this on the show already?
No.
It was at our hotel.
We never discussed this.
No, you didn't discuss this in the hotel or... I'm sorry. You didn't discuss this on the podcast or in real life.
Oh my God.
I feel like we're set for a story.
Okay, so yeah, this is a crazy thing. I thought I discussed this.
No.
I thought I fucking... I actually did somewhat discuss it on my Instagram story. I mentioned it. I just said like, oh, it's crazy. Kevin Spacey. But Kevin Spacey lives in Europe, obviously. Kevin Spacey just caught new charges in the UK.
Really?
In the last year, yeah. He's caught like hella charges. So it was interesting. At our hotel we were staying at in Paris, we were staying at the Peninsula in Paris, and I walked, we were looking for a table. We're asking the hostess, hey, where can we sit? They're like, oh, we went to sit outside at the time. And then we got out there, it was way too fucking hot. But as we walking past to go outside to sit and eat, I say, I think that was Kevin Spacey back there sitting down. She was like, really? I was like, I'm pretty sure. I think I might be just tripping myself out, but like, that dude looked just like Kevin Spacey. So then when we got outside, it was too hot. She was like, oh, you want to sit out here? And I was like, actually, no. And this is an opportunity for me to walk past Kevin Spacey again and see if that was Kevin Spacey. I walked past. Who the fuck is it, Chris? It's Kevin Spacey. It's blatantly Kevin Spacey now. I'm like, nigga, I'm freaking out a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm freaking out on two counts. I'm like, this nigga's on the run. That's one side. Like, I felt like John McAfee. I don't know if you watched this new documentary, but like, you feel like a nigga's on the run and you see him and you like, I could turn this nigga in right now. But then the other part of you is like, this is crazy. This nigga is just out in these streets because he had just caught like 8 charges in the UK as well. I'm like he's just going from country to country. And then I also, part of me like did a little switch past him because I was like, well, I want to give him the opportunity to try to grab my ass or something just to know I'm attractive. But he didn't. So I was like, I'm not cute anymore. That's
Switch
crazy.
up your walk a little bit?
Yeah, it fucked me up a little bit. I was like, Kevin Spacey doesn't like me. But no, we sat down for real. And I was like, yo, I was just like kind of freaking out. And then I was about to tweet it. And Alana called me tacky. So I was tacky. I was like, yo, Kevin Spacey has raped boys. How am I tacky? Like,
what were you gonna? You were at the police.
I was gonna say no. Fuck no. I was gonna
at
tweet
London PD.
No,
I know where Kevin Spacey is.
They know
DM
where he
me.
is. That man ain't. They really wanted to catch that man. They catch him. He's chilling. I was gonna tweet the most random part of my whole trip is Kevin Spacey here in the hotel. It was something funny though within it. And Alana called me tacky. Was like, "Are you gonna do that as tacky?" Convinced me I shouldn't tweet it. I didn't tweet it. Took me some days, but then I was like, "Yo, I'm freaking the fuck out," because I was still in this moment of like, I used to be a big Kevin Spacey fan.
Yeah,
he's a fucking amazing actor.
Yeah,
where you're like, "Yo, I can never root for your acting or things that you've done because of these horrific things that you've done," but he's sitting there in front of me, and like two sides of the Gemini Stilo was there. Two sides of me. The one side that was like, "Yo, let him know House of Cards is not the same without him," and the other side was like, "Let him know also the world is a better place without him." like living these two spaces. But then I was just like, "Yo, it's just crazy that this man can walk around." Number one, and secondly, it's crazy this man was so good at something, and now I can never enjoy that thing again. That brings us full circle to what the R. Kelly thing, and also the who we talking about before this?
Harvey Weinstein, your hero.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Fuck up.
What were we saying?
It was the Robin Hoods of the world.
Just the people who took PPE loans.
This is not just those people. This is something else that we
Somebody's
said.
been canceled. Sydney Sweeney.
No, God damn it. Alana left us, and now I'm stuck. I'm not gonna lie, because it was one other person who we compared it to before there, where I was like, "Oh, do you ever find yourself trying to enjoy something again?" That's what I asked you. I was like, "Do you ever find yourself like wanting to enjoy that thing again?" And you were like, "No." I was like, "Well, I find myself sometimes hearing an R. Kelly song and be like, why'd you have to fuck up?" That's the same space I live in with Kevin Spacey. I'm like, why'd you have to fuck up? Like, you were so good at this thing. Like, you're a bad person. Why'd you have to fuck up?
Woody Allen, I feel that way about.
Yeah, right? But would you still watch his shit?
I don't, but every once in a while I'm like, he is good at things.
All right, not the double standard, because it ain't the exact same thing. But do you ever feel like when white people get canceled, they don't get canceled all the way? Like, they get canceled from working again, new work, but they keep their syndication money?
I thought that's just everybody.
Bill Cosby got all his syndication money taken away.
You got syndication money taken away?
In the sense of like they didn't use him. Like the Cosby Show got pulled from every streaming platform. That's all syndication
money. You can
money.
still listen to R. Kelly and Michael Jackson on every.
No,
stream.
I wasn't. Yeah, that's true. Michael Jackson's white. That's true. That's true.
I've had "I Am a Mountain" stuck in my head all day. Am I going to get canceled for that?
I am a mountain. I am a tall tree. Oh, I am a swift wind.
Sweeping the country. Oh, yeah, all day. If anybody asks me who I am. Yeah.
Man. You know we used to sing it? You know we used to sing it in school as kids?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm the world's rapist.
Really?
Yes, as little kids.
So we all knew the whole time.
Well, we lived in Chicago, so we watched him do his activities. But yeah, man, sometimes you just feel like, I thought it was something weird. But I was bringing that up because I was watching or was on one of these streaming platforms recently, and Roseanne was featured up top. And it was like, Roseanne, get 8 seasons. And I was like, I'm not against Roseanne necessarily, but it's crazy she's being premiered and marqueed still.
I think everyone's going to circle back.
To like, we cool with shit? Because Bill Cosby's out of prison as well. Like,
I think everyone's going to circle back.
You think everyone is going to eventually circle back and say, yo, all this shit we canceled for. Is there anyone that can never come back? R. Kelly can't ever come back.
I mean,
well,
but
people
are
never
going
stop
to
listening to
continue
music.
Listen to his old music.
Yeah, but when you say circle back, what do you mean?
I think there's certain people like R. Kelly, Michael Jackson are going to have an asterisk next to their name. Like, they put out this great music.
Barry Bonds with his home run.
Yeah, they put out this great music, but they also took steroids. But they also had a problem.
Yeah,
and that's part of their legacy.
I almost let you get away with that bullshit. Fuck you, suck a dick. Don't put Michael Jackson's name in that shit.
Well, R. Kelly is way worse, and I don't think Harvey Weinstein is enough of a name. I think.
What about Elvis?
I don't think Elvis has picked that up.
No, I watched this fucking full movie. They didn't even cover it. They didn't even cover it. They were like, we're going to just give you a little music.
Oh, they don't? You watched that movie?
I watched that fucking movie. Me
How
and Lana
was it?
watched
Do you like
it. It was shot pretty cool, like, you know, colors and stuff as far as the tones.
Did they at least talk about how he steals music?
Somewhat. Act like a nigga walked into a black church one time and was inspired.
They acted like he gave up, like he paid a lot of homage, which I'm not too familiar with him to know if he did or
He
not.
stole their money, and he did not. He re-recorded records and never paid them royalties. He did not pay homage. He didn't pay bills, nigga. He didn't pay the actual coins that he owed people. So that's the big problem in all of that.
Is it better than Walk the Line or worse?
Walk the Line or Walk
The Johnny
Hard?
Cash movie?
Oh, I didn't watch that.
Oh, you never watched that movie?
No.
Oh, that's like one of my favorite biopics.
I thought you meant Walk Hard.
Great movie. Great
Walk Hard,
movie. Yeah.
No. But it's just trying to paint. It doesn't give you any real, in my opinion. We don't even see him die on the shitter. They just tell us he died like 2 years later from drinking too much and stuff. And we're like, yo, he died on the shitter from a heart attack and from a whole bunch of drug use. He was a fucking drug head. He got him fat as fuck he died at what, 42? The nigga was young still and had gotten fat as fuck and like he was on hella drugs. He was doing hella drugs. They never wanted to pitch it that way because he was the king.
Oh, okay.
No, they never marketed it that way. They marketed it as him.
You're right. They did not market it that way.
They were going through all these problems, these different issues with money and his boss. It was drugs. Not saying that he wasn't going through all that other stuff too. On the movie,
drugs happen.
They showed a little drugs. They showed a little drugs here and there, like him going through. But they like have him. It was more about prescription drugs.
But that's what those guys were doing.
Yeah, but those dudes during his time were doing drugs though too, bro.
I think they were also doing pills.
Yeah, I'm not saying they weren't doing pills. I'm saying that like they tried to pitch it and show it in a way that Elvis was somewhat still clean. They don't want to taint Elvis's name, but it's like, give us the real. He fucked children.
Oh, they didn't have the 14-year-olds.
They just have him meeting Marie. Whatever her fucking name is. What's her name again?
Sounds like the family.
Priscilla Marie. Yeah, of course. But it's like, yo, fam, look, if you gonna make me watch a motherfucking Martin Luther King movie and hear white bitches on his phone like if you gonna show me Selma and show some white girls, some groupies calling his phone, then like I need to know the truth about motherfucking Elvis Presley. He wasn't even a preacher. He was a dude of the hips. They hated him. If anything, they pitched him as the white NWA. They pitched him as like a white dude that white dudes didn't like because he had Satan in his hips and black dick swinging, apparently. But like that's what the whole movie was like.
Oh man, I'm gonna see it.
No, it's cool. You can watch it. You definitely will enjoy it.
It probably looked cool, right?
It looked cool, awesome. But it didn't give us like. You ever watch 42, the Jackie Robinson movie? Chad Bose.
I wanted to, and then it didn't look that good. It looked like generic.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
you're gonna watch.
It's like a movie.
You're gonna watch a good movie because it's like his life is interesting enough that you can give me a good enough frame, but I can tell you're not giving me the all full on truth because what you have given us, even with Jackie Robinson. No offense to Jackie Robinson, because Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. Jackie Robinson wasn't the best baseball player. He was the dude who was strong enough to break the color barrier. Like, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, they, like, telling a pure story for what it really is. It's like, no, textbooks will tell you Jackie Robinson was this good. This is why he made it to the MLB and blah, blah. Not saying he wasn't good. Just saying that, like, that was... Those other dudes, the Negro League players, were washed, and they probably had their own egos. When you think about Satchel Paige and all these dudes from back in the day, they were stars in their own right. And the Negro League was making more money than MLB at the time. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but this is what Wine and Weed is about, you know? It's about being high and jumping all over the place.
Do you want to hear my question of the week?
Let's do it.
What's the moment you realized you were an adult?
Oh, that's a good question. I like that question.
I like that question too.
I have a whole bunch of moments.
Yeah, you can interpret it in so many different ways.
Mine is just brokenness.
give me top 5.
I got a whole bunch. Brokenness.
You go one, I'll go one.
Brokenness, and realizing nobody's fucking here for you. Like when in your brokenness, like you are broke on your own, is when you start realizing I'm an adult. Nobody gives a fuck if I eat or not tomorrow. I'm trying to think. I had a situation where I was working with somebody, and like they were paying me nothing, pennies on a dollar. I was doing a lot of hard work, in my opinion, for them, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, doing all these different things. But they were paying me pennies on a dollar, and like the whole time they were telling me like, "Hey, I'm gonna get these checks," and I was like, "Hey, I don't know anything about taxes. I'm a kid. I don't know anything about taxes. I'm not paying taxes on this, right? Because I don't like this is no money. I don't have enough to either survive and pay taxes, really." Person's like, "No, this is not even enough for me to do that on. This is just straight personal checks. Don't worry." Person was 1099. If you don't know what 1099 is, that's them basically saying you are your own private contractor and they're outsourcing you. You pay your own taxes. They were 1099ing me for 3 years straight and didn't tell me. So the IRS called me one day. Like, "Hey, motherfucker, you owe us some money." Now, in the grand scheme of things, as I look back, it wasn't a lot of money. It was a lot of money to me at that time, as I didn't have any money. It was like $35,000, $40,000. Again, that is a lot of money. I don't want to sound like that's a lot of money. I'm saying that like for my name and for everything that was coming with it wasn't enough for me. Like, but at the time, I was like, I don't have this money at all, and I had never the IRS nigga. I'm a child. I don't talk to the IRS.
Yeah,
they're a myth. I've only heard stories about them existing. I don't know if they are real. My parents claim they pay these people called the IRS each year. I don't know shit about them. And the IRS called me like, "Yo, fam, you owe us $30,000. They put that, and I was like, from what?" And they told me.
Also, $30,000 sounds like the most ever when you're like 22 and broke. 30,000 sounds like, what is this going to take me forever to do anything? I can't even picture $30,000.
Well, I had just got ridiculous.
Oh, you had?
I had just got
So you a little bit were like, okay,
no, I didn't have
$30,000 exists somewhere.
Early ridiculousness. The very first season, I wasn't making any money.
But you still might make 30 for the whole season or something. So you might go, okay, I can make $30,000.
Yeah, like I was like, I can pay this, but I'm broke if I pay this.
Yeah.
I'm completely broke. And I did just that. And I was just broke. And I had to live that way. But that wasn't like the first time I knew I was an adult. That was one of the big moments for me. I had very small situations. I've told stories before of me being on dates and like swiping my card and them getting declined and shit. Or just being like, yeah, I was broke for hella years. So for me, it was like all those like just realities of like, hey, nigga, nobody cares. Your parents don't have the means to cover it. So other than that, you're an adult, fam. You out in these streets. Figure it the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you're giving me mad money. Early money flashbacks of moments where you're like, fuck. Well, you reminded me of a couple money ones. I had an early money one that was like college, but I didn't feel like it was a good enough money one because it wasn't like you were really, really helpless. I mean, I was really, really helpless. I was in Europe. I was at the end of my trip. I had a certain amount budgeted, which was like $3,000 or something for this whole entire time.
You was in Europe just because, or you was in Europe? Like...
I studied for 22 days in Greece.
That's popping.
It was awesome. And then I had a 7-day trip planned afterwards. And I kind of was just flying by the seat of my pants. I went with somebody from the student program to Rome, and then I met a friend who had a cool hotel room, and they had money, so they were like spending money, and I was like trying to at least get a bottle of wine here and there. You know, I was trying to give what I could, but they were riding outside of my budget. Yeah. But I was trying to play in Rome, so I did, and then I got to Florence, then I went up and visited a girl in like Austria, and then I came back down to Florence, and then
you sound rich, bro.
Well, it was all like Eurorail. It was like Eurorail with a backpack, and like I slept on a bench one night.
So when you're in college, do you still like rely or look to your parent? Like,
well, for me, I had budgeted the trip, and that's the only money I had.
Okay.
So, and then I wanted to meet this girl from college up in Austria, so I took the Euro train up to Austria, and I was with a friend who was just had a different budget than me that I was just like slightly trying to keep up to, in like I can pay for things too way. But I reached the last 2 days of my trip, and I was in Florence, and I had $40, and I had $40 to make it through like 2 days, and it was like,
what day was it?
It was what?
Because that's easy work for me. I said, what day was it?
It was,
Because that matters. Do you know what day it was?
I think it was a Thursday.
I can make it
Well, what day couldn't you make it on?
on a Monday. I'll tell you why. I told you this before. Like, okay. So, as you just talked about that, it took me back to being broke
but I had to like I had to like
work your shit.
Convince somebody to stay.
That's what life is about, bro.
Yeah, I had to convince to stay in a room, and then kind of like prove my social worth in order to make you let me stay for another night.
That's funny.
And then kind of like sit around these people, have some food, and I think eventually I was like, Mom, I want to go to a museum.
I like this question. I might even have another one.
So that one's not even really a good one. Because I still had Mom.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, if you still have that backup, it's like a little bit like...
I have other adult ones where I don't have Mom.
I want to hear an adult one.
Yeah.
You got one?
I think it's more of like a general thing of just being like, I don't want to be here. Not be here, like I want to off myself, but like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to unalive myself. But just being like, oh, this is a scam. Like, I don't want to be an adult anymore.
Oh,
you know, like those moments.
There's so much to this question.
Yeah, like I think that was really my moment of like, what? This is a lot more responsibility that I signed up for.
You got a child.
When you got scammed?
No, she's saying that like being an adult is a scam.
Is a scam. Yeah, I think it was like, the first couple years, it's a lot of fun. You can live on your own. You're in college.
Because you're still a kid. You're just technically an adult.
Yeah. And then when you start realizing you're like, oh, this shit comes with responsibilities and like a lot of them, I was like, oh, okay, this is the real world now.
You know what's funny is what I always tell people this, when people be like, you know what? They'll hear music from back in the day and be like, music from the good old days. I'm like, whenever people say music from the good old days, that's just when they didn't have responsibilities. That's just music from when they were like 14 and 15, when they were like, didn't have bills. Music from the good old days. Because music is all about the moment you're in, the vibe you're in.
Takes you back.
Yeah, so it's like you get taken back to these great days, these bliss days when you didn't have any responsibilities, which is funny to me. But no. I was gonna tell you guys another one, not the one when I'm trying to think of being broke. I've had
moments.
Stories.
Also, this is kind of a different approach to the question, but I actually really did have a moment, maybe like 6 months ago, where I like was fixing the sink, and I like fixed it, and I like found I felt good about it. And then I like looked at a vacuum online, and I was like, this vacuum is dope. It buffs the floors, and you can vacuum it up. And I like ordered it, and like things came in, and I walked out, and I was like, take the dog out. And I walked outside, and I looked down, and I had Birkenstocks on, and I was like, you might as well have a kid.
Yeah.
And that's a different I'm an adult moment. And then ironically, I found out I was having a kid. But it was that one like simple moment that made me go like, nah, you're ready. Remember that moment when you felt like...
I feel the same way with like
just simpleness.
Yeah. Well, just with like the responsibilities, like I'll tell you this much. When I was 24, 25, I bought my first house, 25. It was like you're an adult. Mm-hmm. They have your name. They have everything. They can fucking take it all away from you too. Mm-hmm. You're an adult. Like there is no getting out of it. My parents made me afraid of credit. They made me afraid.
Yeah, you're locked into this deal.
Yeah, you're
now.
like, oh, dude, I didn't get a credit card until after I bought a house. Didn't have a credit card.
Oh, yeah.
My very first credit card came when I was 25, 26. And because I bought the house, they encouraged me, hey, you need a credit card to build credit. You only got this house because you have the finances somewhat to get the house. But you need a credit card, dude. Like, you don't have a credit card. I've been so afraid of adulting, of doing these different things, just because I'd be like, man, so when you even just said like vacuum and doing this, I see myself becoming my dad all the time. And I'm like, fuck, you're like just a full on adult. And like I don't know, this shit is always interesting. It's always interesting because no one ever like, there's no real transition period like that. It's like you look up one day and you're like, damn.
There's one
out here.
element of like, I'm an adult, like, right. Like, oh no, I'm an adult. There's that's one, I'm an adult. Oh no, I'm an adult. And then the second adult is like, oh, look, I'm an adult.
I have a shared adult experience with you. When I don't remember whose friend it was, either my friend Zach, Bia, or one of your friends invited us to this party, this after party, and we go in, and it was my first moment, at least, of being like, everyone in here looks like they're in high school, and I look older than everybody.
That's a different adult moment.
And that was like the moment where I was like, I am that old person. Not that I'm old, but I just felt like that old person at the party where you're like, I don't know any of you, and you guys all are like just little TikTokers that are like 19, and it's very like 19-year-old energy, and I'm like, y'all are annoying.
Yeah, that's online right now. There are so many. We didn't even go over one article, right? The Addison Rae article. Which this is a fucking Addison Rae article on the Wine and Leaf podcast. Is hilarious just to start with. But it was
so follow us on TikTok.
it was about the we are trying to get followers. Addison, if you're listening, no,
we side with you.
It was about the this dude who's a rapper, like apparently smashing Addison Rae's mom, and he
another social media star, I believe. That's how I know who that guy is. The guy, he's a rapper.
Yeah, you know him from them.
I know him from social media. I don't know him as a rapper.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
I know him as a social media character.
That might be the case, but I was just like, yo, this whole thing is just so interesting. In my opinion, of somebody being like, first of all, I don't know if you saw The VMAs. I didn't really watch them like that, but shout out to MTV. But like, he basically was like, oh, I bagged her because she's the top MILF in the game, and I talk about MILFs online, which is a really wild way to introduce somebody. Like, I'm fucking this bitch for clout.
I mean, sounds like they're in love.
But no.
The true Hollywood love story.
This is the part that broke me for her. He said this on the red carpet, and she looked taken aback. Like,
yeah,
I thought we were dating. And he was like, you don't get the shit? This whole thing is a bit, babe. I'm fucking MILFs. This is what I'm doing. I got a song about fucking MILFs. You're the MILF I'm fucking. And she looked like I thought we were a couple. And it really like fucked with me because it didn't say that anywhere. I could be wrong. I could be reading it wrong.
You think she really believed it?
1,000%.
She was definitely taken back.
The energy she was giving him is completely different than how he gave her on.
But also might be you're revealing that this isn't real.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I thought you meant she was like, I thought we were in love.
Or she's like, yo, this little, he younger than her too. He probably fucking the shit out of her. Like, I'm younger than you, shorty. I'm 25. You 45.
Young Gravy is his name.
Yeah.
I mean, he just used her as a prop, and I would say congratulations.
Oh, you're not that?
Being Addison Rae's mom, like I'm supposed to have respect for you because you're Addison Rae's mom.
Are you not? Are you supposed
I think
to
that's
be
hilarious.
Are you supposed to be mad at
2
Addison
hours
Rae's
ago,
mom
she
for no
posted
reason?
them
I'm
on
not
her story.
mad at Addison Rae's mom. I just think it's hilarious that this guy was like, "This is a publicity stunt because that's all you care about is publicity." You're Addison Rae's mom. Why would you be on the red carpet?
I'm with you. You ever see? I was telling this earlier. You ever see motherfuckers, parents, and people get like really taken up in the Hollywood tornado?
Yeah,
and you be
dad.
like, yeah, but Drake's dad was pimping beforehand.
I mean,
so he just amplified his shit. He just was like, I'm in Hollywood now. Versus like a Addison Rae's mom and dad. I think her dad is dating like a 19-year-old.
Oh, that makes perfect sense to me. One of the first,
and she's like, I got Young Gravy now. It's like, damn. Which one of y'all gonna fuck DDG next? What?
When I was like super young, one of the first Hollywood people I have a clear memory of meeting was Joe Simpson backstage at American Idol. No, it was
Oh.
it was one of it was
No, I used
when
to
I was
work with
at
Joe
American
Simpson.
Idol. Joe Simpson, Jessica
I used to work
Simpson's
with Joe
dad.
Simpson, yeah.
That guy gave me Hollywood parent vibes more than anyone I've
I used to
ever
work
seen
with
in my
him.
life.
He used to have a house not too far from here. I'm not gonna say what it is.
I don't know if it was just because it was the first person in that.
No, he's Joe Simpson.
He felt very exaggerated.
Joe Simpson.
Yeah.
He's the legend, Joe Simpson. He controlled those careers. He was the manager. He was very big Hollywood dad.
And I think he
vibes.
was at the peak at that
Oh,
point.
he was peaking for sure.
Yeah, he was
he was the man.
He was the guy.
You know what's funny is that I used to work with Rob's cousin Drama. I actually met him the very first night at Joe Simpson's studio.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I met him.
You met Drama
Yeah,
at Joe Simpson's studio?
yeah, the world's small, man.
Wow, I didn't know you worked with Joe Simpson.
Yeah, I met him there because he was working with this other kid who I was working with as well. He brought him one night, and I was like, "Oh, what's up, dude? Watch y'all on Robin Big and shit."
Isn't he like fake tan, like
Joe Simpson?
bleach blonde hair,
Joe
like
Simpson?
kind of like preacher but gay
Yeah.
type?
No, I don't know if he gay type.
He gave me a little like I'm
He
a
ain't tryna
preacher,
fuck
but I'm
you?
also kind of gay.
Did he
vibe.
try to fuck you?
No, but there's a weird energy that he gave. I mean, I was with Zach, and there was a weird energy there.
Oh, so he wasn't into you. He's into Zach.
Of course, he was in Zach. It was.
What do
was
you mean?
Zach
Of course. Don't be so hard
Well,
on
it
yourself.
was
Chris, you're hot.
Well, he was a famous guy, and I was
Chris,
I was a friend.
Chris, you're hot.
Joe didn't like me. Joe didn't
Like Kevin
like
Spacey
me.
didn't hit on me. I was broken by that. Alana, you didn't even mention seeing Kevin Spacey, that you were gone. But I mentioned how he was, and
I was there.
it was crazy though, wasn't it? Well, you wasn't really that.
I was here.
But you walked that way.
No. When we were talking about Kevin Spacey, I was still here.
We mentioned him, but I thought
Yeah.
you walked away when we talked about him actually being at the hotel and what happened.
What happened?
Oh, how he gave me a hand job in the bathroom.
I wasn't there.
No, did we do
Well,
it?
I like that adulting. Let
Me
us
too.
know.
Oh yeah, and having
is-
Zane. Sorry, I'm gonna throw that in just
Yeah.
because having a baby, Chris, since you're having a baby, it's really the craziest thing because for the first couple of days when you're in the hospital, all the nurses are helping you guys do everything. They're very hands-on and like supportive, and then they're kind of just like, okay, bye, and like send you home. And
Yeah,
that
it's your
first
baby.
realizing, I know, but still, if you've never had a baby before and like you're in the house, you're like, okay, now what do I do? And you're so scared to like, I've never had a baby before. I don't know. This guy's a pro.
No,
apparently,
that
though.
sounds like a real.
It's
ass
very
moment.
scary, but yeah, it was definitely a
be
moment.
honest.
And I
Well,
was 24 when I had Zane.
I'm thinking about the fact that they've been giving Chris a baby, and that shit is wild.
There also might be a moment when you realize that you were pregnant, where you
Yeah.
all of a sudden contextualize your whole life, and you're kind of
Yes,
like,
all my friends
oh,
are still
this is part
going
two.
out and everything, and because I was the first one of my friends to have a baby,
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like I guess this is where the rest of my real life starts.
Well, it's even like, oh, okay, like this is a clear like nothing's ever gonna be the same. But that's not even what I'm saying about the adult thing. Is that you're going like, oh shit, that was a chapter of my life I didn't even realize I was writing
Yeah.
until I so clearly see the next chapter beginning. And now I have to look at my entire life. Oh, I guess I've had a lot of chapters. And I guess I've had a lot of moments.
Hell yeah,
and,
bro.
and I guess this might be like chapter 7. Oh, interesting. What if it's chapter 12? What would the chapters of my life be? And now you're looking at yourself
Facts.
as like, here's, oh, wow, this is the first third of my life, or this is the first act. And now I get to do this part. Now I get to do that part. And that is kind of a larger, more profound adult moment. Not that I'm
you know
saying I
in
just realized I was an adult.
Yeah,
but
6
maybe I did.
years, we'll be 40. And in 6 years, when we're 40, that's death, basically. We'll be headed
Until
out.
we decide that 40 is the new 20, and we convince ourselves until we're dead that 60 is the new 20.
That's what you got to do.
Then all of a sudden you just
Then 80's a new 30.
I thought
You're
you
like
just
80
take
is the
10
new
years back.
30.
Like I thought
That's
30
what
is the
they
new
did
20.
before, but me and
Yeah.
Chris are changing the fucking game.
A lot of years.
We'll be 80 and
I'm
be
doing
like, it's
whippets.
the new 30.
and then you never actually have to face death, and you never have to really acknowledge what's coming to us all.
Until they wake you up and say, that happened. You're
And you'd be
dead.
like, that was all chapter 1 though.
Yeah. You never finished the book.
And
you
they'll
don't
be
want to
like-
do that. You don't want to fucking do that. You got to start writing. Like, what are you writing? You got to write the meat. You You got to write the details right now. This is the bulk of the book right now.
That was an introduction to if you're looking at 3-act structure, the first act serves as an introduction to all the characters, and you get to understand what the character wants.
Okay.
And in Act 2, things fucking happen, right? So, that was Act 1, and I had a great time.
And things are happening now. You guys stay tuned for the rest of the things. Let's just be wine and weed for this week. I would say zip it up.
Zip it up.
Yeah, bitch.
Follow us on TikTok.
Yep. Tick it up. Whatever they do. What up, homie? Come on out.
Come on down. The price is right, Zay.
Come on out.